It started as a serene dawn in Hoi An, a town older than America itself, famed for its shimmering lanterns, ancient cobblestone paths, and charming riverside cafes that once lured millions of global wanderers. But by late October 2025, that very river, the Hoi, betrayed the city in a furious onslaught. Relentless rain hammered down for days. Upstream dams burst their limits, and in mere hours, waters surged beyond imagination, climbing past windows, engulfing rooftops, crossing the irreversible threshold. By nightfall, Hoi An, Vietnam's cherished UNESCO World Heritage Gem, vanished under a churning, muddy vortex. Over 128,000 homes submerged. Desperate families scrambled to rooftops for survival. Boats glided eerily through former markets and schools. To residents, it defied reality, as if centuries of heritage had perished in a single night. For the world, it struck as a haunting wake-up call. Even Earth's most enchanting havens can disappear in one merciless tempest. This is the saga of the deluge that reshaped Vietnam's legacy, and the unbreakable spirits still battling to emerge from its depths. As dawn pierced central Vietnam, the flood's gruesome reality unfolded in stark terror. Hoi An, the postcard paradise of vibrant lanterns and idyllic riverside cafes, now resembled Venice under brutal assault. But this was no serene gondola ride, it was utter pandemonium. Boats overtook motorbikes in a frantic scramble. Locals rode through transformed streets turned raging rivers, dodging half-drowned rooftops and drifting debris. Timeless temples and wooden homes, veterans of wars, storms, and eras, sank beneath 10 feet of filthy sludge. Power snapped violently. Lines sparked and plunged into the torrent. Families wailed for rescue from upper-story windows, desperately clutching salvaged remnants. The devastation ripped across the region. In hue, Vietnam's imperial heart, chaos mirrored the horror. Countless neighborhoods isolated, some entombed under 6 feet of floodwaters. Historic pagodas loomed silently amid the swell. Bridges dissolved. Whole districts plunged into blackness as waters devoured streets at breakneck speed. By afternoon, bustling tourist hubs evaporated. Only pounding rain and rescue boat echoes pierced the void. Survivors called it an unending abyss. Like Venice, one tourist gasped, but laced with sheer terror. For a country forged in endurance, this transcended a mere flood. It shattered belief as eons of culture, splendor, and legacy drowned in a turbulent ocean. By October 31st, the toll was crushing and soul-shattering. At least 14 lives confirmed lost. 8 vanished without trace, dozens wounded as colossal water walls rampaged central Vietnam. More than 128,000 homes lay buried underwater. Generational families now perched on rooftops, frantically signaling for aid. In rural expanses, landslides entombed highways and bridges, severing villages from salvation. Over 12,000 acres of rice and crops obliterated. More than 16,000 livestock, cattle, pigs, poultry, swept into oblivion by the savage currents. Helicopters thundered overhead, hunting stranded souls. Below, volunteer-driven rescue boats navigated vanished neighborhoods, ferrying food and aid. At a perilous mountain pass linking Da Nang and Quang Ngai, teams deployed drones to pinpoint truckers marooned on flooded roads for over 48 hours, airdropping water and noodles. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh broadcast nationwide, swearing no one would suffer hunger or chill. Thousands of soldiers, medics, and volunteers mobilized to dole out essentials and erect emergency havens. Yet, with 440,000 still powerless and mud-devouring streets whole, even heroic strides seemed dwarfed by the apocalypse. In Hue and Hoi An, the blow struck beyond shelter. They forfeited lifetimes of cherished memories. Wedding albums, ancestral treasures, intricately carved furnishings, sacred family altars vanished in instants. The flood pilfered not just goods, but the soul-defining history of these lands. For survivors, fleeing the waters paled against confronting the wreckage left behind. For Hoi An, this was no ordinary flood. It was a profound cultural shattering, This venerable town, a thriving 15th and 16th century port, had defied wars, typhoons, and the march of time. Yet this storm conquered it. Torrents roared through tight alleys, battering temple doors and centuries-old homes. Bridges buckled in agony. Ancient wooden beams, darkened by ages and lore, splintered and shattered. Incense and street food aromas gave way to choking mud and rot. The Thubon River, typically tranquil and picturesque, morphed into a beast, hauling furniture, market stalls, even rooftop fragments. Heritage guardians dread permanent scars to Hoi An's treasures, some half a millennium old. The iconic Japanese-covered bridge, Vietnam's emblematic wonder, teetered half-submerged, its base undermined. Walls that endured the Vietnam War now crumbled under hydraulic fury. Region-wide tourism, the lifeblood of Hoi An and Hue, collapsed in a heartbeat. Flights grounded. Hotels barricaded. Vessels once ferrying sightseers now hauled sustenance, meds, and rescuers. Merchants shoveled sludge from shops, gazing at shattered dreams. Here, loss defied currency, it tallied in erased epochs. Each toppled wall, each sodden lantern screamed that no heritage halts the inexorable surge. Experts declare Vietnam's Central Coast catastrophe no mere act of nature, but a dire omen etched in floodwaters. Forecasters cite a lethal convergence. Record ocean heat, erratic monsoons, and escalating extreme downpours ravaging Southeast Asia. In 48 hours, nearly 65 inches drenched the land, surpassing some U.S. cities' annual totals. Researchers brand this deluge with climate change's blatant fingerprint. Scalding South China Sea waters amplified tropical vapor, while wayward jet streams hammered rain over the same vulnerable zone. Outdated barriers and dam mismanagement escalated a fierce storm into nationwide ruin. Impacts cascaded beyond bricks and mortar. Central Vietnam's provinces, millions of farmers, crafters, and hospitality workers, saw economies implode instantly. Tourism in Hoi An and Hue blacked out. Fields ruined, herds drowned, grids shattered. Global eyes shifted swiftly, but rebirth demands months, perhaps years. Authorities vow millions for reconstruction, roads, schools, utilities, bolstered by U.S., UN, and Red Cross aid. Still, for countless families, funds can't resurrect the irreplaceable: homes, customs, security. This flood erased more than structures. It dissolved the delusion that the past shields us from tomorrow. When rain ceased, an oppressive hush descended, heavier than the fury it followed. The Thubon River, emblem of serenity and wealth, now stagnated brown, laden with shredded lives. In Hoi An, wall stains narrated the nightmare, mud marks climbing to mid-windows. Toppled furniture, streets caked in silt. The lantern-lit jewel now flickered under emergency lamps' grim glow. Volunteers flooded in nationwide, students muckraking beside troops. Temple monks fed the displaced. Former tourists lingered to reconstruct. Briefly, hierarchies dissolved, just drenched souls bound by sorrow and solidarity. Officials revived power, cleared paths, restored access. But wounds cut soul deep. Heirlooms spanning generations, faded letters, holy shrines, all annihilated. For many, the aftermath bred not void, but a profound, enduring sorrow that outlasts the retreat. Yet amid anguish bloomed defiance. Kids splashed in mud, giggling with clay-caked hands. Elders sipped tea on rooftops, thankful for breath. Hoi An and Hue's people forfeited all, except their fire to restore. As the river relinquished its spoils, what emerged transcended a town, a phoenix community. The cataclysm submerging Hoi An and Hue wasn't solely nature's wrath. It was an urgent alert, a stark truth. Beauty, history, heritage crumble when the wild reclaims. In days, centuries dissolved. Homes became waterways, streets oceans, memories mire. But tragedy unveils a universal echo. Climate change ignores boundaries. This could strike Louisiana shores, California valleys, New York blocks. Our world morphs quicker than we evolve, and the next fury looms nearer than imagined. Before the coming deluge, the blaring alarms we must confront. Are we prepared? Fortifying? Heeding the storm's screams? Every catastrophe weaves dual tales, devastation and humanity's riposte. The latter remains unwritten, penned by souls like yours. If this gripped you, like to champion tales of triumph and grit, share with those blind to our planet's peril. Subscribe for raw chronicles of tempests forging our fate. Now, your voice. Are such calamities inevitable nature, or evidence our world outpaces our readiness? Sound off below. Awareness ignites action. Every comment, share, narrative arms us against the gathering gales.